Welcome, everyone, to the NEKO ALPHA Show live from Tokyo, bringing you the Japan-related NFT alpha and more from the United NEKO Alliance here on the ground in Japan. My name is Reno. I'm here with my co-host and United NEKO Alliance co-founder, Neil,
Hey everybody, welcome.
and our co-founder and usual co-host, Steve, is currently somewhere on an airplane over the United States. So it'll just be Neil and I today. In today's show, we'll have our normal segment, Spaces Recap from earlier in the week. We'll have the Alpha section and some community updates as well. Before we start, please remember that this is not financial advice. Do your own research. This is our commentary, our info sharing, and hopefully it's a little bit entertaining. So getting going right here in the beginning with the Spaces recap. Now, normally this is Steve's section, and he finesses it quite well. I'm taking over for him today, so it's going to be pretty nuts and bolts, just straightforward. Generally speaking, we had a great Spaces, we had a great turnout, and lots of people going back and listening who couldn't make the broadcast. It's every week. 10 a.m. Tuesdays, Japan time, and oh man, I forgot what time it is on the West Coast in the U.S. and North America, but it's a reasonable 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, so pretty accessible for those in North America, and for those who aren't, we hope you can still tune in. So primarily on Tuesday Spaces, we had three specific featured guests. The first one was Cat Rescue NFT, which is a pretty unique project started by a Japanese founder who will be donating 50% of his sales proceeds to cat-saving charities of various kinds, whether it be shelters or spay and neuter services, things like that. There's cats everywhere in the world that need help, and that's what Shinsan wants to do with that project. Very perfectly, we were able to hear his cat in the background on Spaces. It sounded too good to be true, but it was great to hear that. Definitely a cat guy who's dedicated to what he's doing. He's sort of still in the process of developing his community and the project structure. But given that the whole world loves cats, for the most part, there's a lot of dog people too. But we wouldn't be surprised to see this community, sort of take off and blow up around that theme. So we'll have a note in the show, the link in the show notes. You can check out Cat Rescue. Our second guest was Kokorominton, Japan NFT, which is a creator it's really heavy traditional anime focus when you first look at it. But if you look a little closer, there's a ton of detail and little things like off to the side, little Easter eggs here and there, that you realize there's quite a bit of depth in it. And you kind of, you have to go back several times and you realize, okay, this isn't just a, pretty cute, sexy anime girl. There's more going on here. The creator, she was originally, maybe she still is, a package art designer who became interested in NFTs and is sort of cutting down on her freelance schedule and things like that so she can focus more on her NFT projects. She paints primarily in digital pastels, and minting on foundation, and just sort of an aside, something we've talked about internally a little bit. It's interesting that we see a lot of the artists on our Spaces who are creating these sort of cute, anime style girls. Some of them a bit suggestive, showing quite a bit of skin. It hasn't been all of them, but definitely the vast majority of the artists who create this are women artists, which is interesting. It's perhaps not something you would expect. You might expect a bunch of lecherous dudes in their mom's basement drawing these things, but it's quite a few women creators who are bringing them to the world. So it's just interesting that is the case. Next, our third and final featured artist was Hanako. And Hanako creates these sort of very pro-level anime-style characters. And she's got three small collections on OpenSea for the now. but she's working more on it. She has her background was working in sort of layout graphic design for postcards, in particular in Japan, the New Year's postcards, which are a big thing. It's kind of like the analog in the United States would be Christmas cards. You know, everyone wants to send out a Christmas card, or a lot of people do. And in Japan, it's a New Year card that people send out. So she was designing stuff like that, creating content for manga shows on YouTube, and had some of her stuff on Japanese TV. But she heard about NFTs from a friend. And sometime in the past few years, you'll want to check out her story at the link. But she went through the death of a very close friend, and sort of came to the realization, that as many of us do, like, life is short. Chase what you want, and follow your heart and things like that. And so NFTs presented a way for her to kind of do the art that she wanted to do, and in particular be able to share that internationally, and get some exposure that without sort of the Web3 ecosystem and NFTs and things like that she probably never would have had the opportunity to do. So interesting story there. Of course, we'll have Twitter links for all these creators in the show description. Also a link to the recording, so definitely check that out. You can learn more about these featured artists. And once again, it was it was a great show. We had a great turnout, and great support from Sophie at NFT JPN, and Hopes on helping us with translation, and a lot of interesting, thoughtful comments, both from Japanese creators and non-Japanese creators. So definitely tune in every Tuesday. We'll have links in the description on that. So that is our Spaces recap, and from now we will move directly into the alpha.
Thanks, Reno. Yeah, so we've got a lot of stuff to cover this week, and I thought we'd start off with what's becoming a bit of a recurring segment here, our very long update. So to start with, of course, very long animals. We've been touching on it in almost every show recently because there's so much going on in that community. And what we've got here is VeryLongTown. So VeryLongTown is the first very long animal generative NFT collection. So it's a generative. What's that? What's going on?
What are you doing?
What's that?
It's the show. Do the show. What's going on? What? What is this? Get off the screen. What is this?
Very long town. Not first. First.
What is this? Get out of our show, dude.
Goblin first.
Somebody fix this.
Very long. Very long.
Technician guy in the background, fix it. What's going on? This is
Very long goblin.
This is totally ruining our show. Oh my god! Fix it.
Man.
Hey.
Windman. No.
Hey, nerd in the background, fix it. Our show's broken. Help.
Mint more. More mint. Mint.
Help.
Goblin.
Okay.
Goblin.
Okay. Cut him off.
Yeah, very long. Goblin. Very long.
Cut him off. Get him out.
Dude,
Neil.
Where'd that come from? Oh god.
That was pretty rude. That's not a nice thing to do in a live show.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I did. Okay, so yeah, I guess that's a real thing. Very long goblins. I mean, they got very long goblins. What the long? It's got an OpenSea page here. It's got already got 490 items. So I guess it's take your chances with that contract, but it seems to be minting, and yeah. But back to it's a very long town. Very long town is generative project for the Very Long Animals derivative, and it's so pre-sale 11th of June, then public sale 12th of June. So that's coming up. And the artist for that is Milko. So Milko is also part of Sodan NFT, involved with Love Addicted Girls, artist, and PR, and also Astor Prince. So very active artist. I think possibly already was involved with the Very Long the community, and now artist for VeryLongTown, minting soon. So yeah, we'll have the links, of course, for all of that stuff below.
I really dig the idea of the very long update. Like, this needs to be a section in the show, right? Because there's so much happening with this community, and it's becoming like you've said, Neil, like maybe this is the meme that's going to really help Japan break out into the global
Well,
community.
I think it's, yeah, I mean, it is. It's the whole community. It's built around a meme, but the thing is, like, if you think about it, like a lot of like the NFT memes are, um, there's the main project, and maybe there are some derivatives, right? But in this project, the derivatives, the original project, and all the derivatives, they are the community. They
Right,
all like
right.
support each other, and they just, it's like a virus. They just want to expand and make everything longer. They just want to make everything in the whole world longer. So I don't know, like, every NFT may end up getting very long in the end, but I think it's the kind of this kind of meme that well, it's inevitable that it's going to spread outside of Japan because it's so much fun, and by participating, you get to be part of the community. That's the thing, and then
Right.
you know, so
And the guy who's
um,
sort of leading it, Akim, is so great and so positive, and has this approach of like, let's build the community by sharing and creating new works. It's very cool to see. It's a great community.
yeah,
We're lucky to be part of it. It's fun.
yeah, everybody's welcome. I mean, maybe even the goblins. I'm not sure about that one, but they seem to have like jumped in anyways, whether they were invited or not. So yeah, so moving on. So here's a quick look at the NFT for the week. Looking at the weekly volume, you can see that Vivid jumped into the top there. So I think I can't remember if we mentioned it in the last show, but it would have just minted. But in the meantime, it's now revealed, and so Vivid minted at a pretty high, pretty ambitious for this market price of like zero point 0.3. And then after the reveal, it kind of tanked. So it's sort of been down to like, went into the low 0.1s, then it was down to like 0.8. Now it's at like 0.072. And, a bunch of people are, sort of saying that they're not so keen on on the detail in the pictures, or don't think they make good at PFPs, or they're not really hot on the black and white look. I mean, I think verdict's out on that. I mean, definitely picking such an aggressive mint price in a bear market like this was pretty ballsy. I'm not sure, that worked out for them, but
Was that
I did hear in a
because?
space.
Yeah, sorry. Was that because just the artist is so well known? Was that sort of where they got the balls to do that?
I don't know. I've been on some of their spaces, and I feel like the team's pretty together. They definitely have a roadmap. They have a plan. They feel confident that they're like a pretty a team of extremely capable people. So and what they said on the spaces is that they needed a certain amount of capital to execute, and that's what they want to do. So I don't we don't know. We don't know where that, the money's going, but like, why not take them at their word for now? But the thing is that at least initially, and I mean, it's typical for projects to dump after the mint anyways, right? So it's like,
Mhm.
what the key is what happens after here. And so that I just want to briefly sort of like put a positive spin on it. Saw this really good thread from at Kylie NFT. She says anime is taking over the world. A thread on why you're underexposed to Vivid. So she mentions the artist, Aki Bright, acclaimed manga artist. He's done comic pieces, worked with major clients such as Kadokawa, which is a huge company in Japan, BMW, Hasbro, DC Comics, Atmos USA, and more. So this is true. I mean, we knew he was pretty well known. He's got 103,000 followers on Instagram. And, you know, he mentions his style heavily influenced by mangaka like Akira Toriyama, and uh, she says those of us who grew up Toriyama's work, Dragon Ball series, Dragon Warrior, Quest games, Chrono Trigger, etc. Aki's art feels like a homecoming. So this is the thing, right? I mean, there's so many anime fans worldwide. So can this project gather a few thousand fans for this style? I would think that's likely. It's just
Yeah.
could take a bit of time. We've got the people that jumped in on the project and are flipping the NFTs, but now it's like, okay, the community needs to sort of, come in and the people that really like the art and really like the project and really like the community are going to be the ones that are sort of stick around and grow it. So, just go on about that. So she says, whether you're an anime devotee or new to the genre, the absolute authenticity of Aki's work is extremely obvious. So, that's what people were commenting on pre-mint. So, and then there's some talk about I heard this somewhere else too, about an artifact Clonex collab and private sale. Japan and American publishing rights secured for the brand's upcoming manga comic series. They've been talking about that. Fashion line ready to launch. I think a lot of the core members, their background is in fashion, so I think in the way, a lot of projects are like, oh, okay, what do we do next? We need to like do a hoodie or we need to do some merch, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, hire somebody. I think for these guys, it was always really core to their project. So again, if they really, and that's they say they can execute that. So if they really do, who knows? I think it could be pretty big. So I'm not willing to write this off. I'm holding some. I like it, and I'm curious to see how things get accepted and how it moves forward. So next, number 2 and 3 spot, we've got Murakami Flowers official and Murakami Flowers seed, and we had an so what's the floor? The floor actually was down to like 2.8, and it's now up to 3.99 on the news that came out this week from Murakami Flowers official. Airdrop is coming soon for Murakami Flowers owners. Please note that there will be no airdrop for unrevealed seed holders. One airdrop per each Murakami flower based on snapshot as of June 12th. So if you're holding a flower, you're good. If you want to get in on this, if you were thinking of getting a flower, now might be a good time to get it before the 12th. If you're holding a seed, you might seriously want to consider, why are you holding a seed and do you really want to do that? The seeds have had a premium on the price, so of about an ETH. So I get that happened with mutants too, that the serum like was actually higher than the mutants themselves. So I bet there will be some holdouts who won't take the airdrop and are going to just hold on to their seeds. But I also expect that let's just have a quick look at the number right now. So yeah, it's up to 8.5, right? And I think there's 11,000, right? So I expect that by the 12th, we will see a bunch of seeds converting, and this number of items and owners is going to go higher. So definitely, Murakami would like to see his flowers out in the world. He doesn't want people holding the seeds, is what the message from that airdrop. And next we've got, okay, coming in at number 6. So this was not on our radar really, but yeah, this just popped up, and we got um, this project's called Flower Lolita, and it's as you can see, a bunch of little girls, and I think there's some little boys in there too. But yeah, there you go. There's a boy. Kind of kawaii chibi art or something.
Yeah.
And it's got, so here's the official Twitter, Flower Lolita. It says founder AI NFT and co-founder KSK Group. So here's the founder's Twitter. But interesting that the co-founder KSK Group, that's Keisuke Honda, who is the one of the most famous Japanese professional soccer players, if not the most famous. He's definitely one of the top couple.
Right. He was the
And
guy with always had the blonde hair. Maybe he doesn't have it anymore,
yeah,
but people might remember that
yeah,
guy on the Japanese team who had the blonde hair.
yeah, that's him. All right. Yeah, you can see it in some of these small pictures. So he's apparently co-founder for this. Yeah, we don't know much else about the project. I think it mentioned at '05 or '06 or something, and so it's got a bit of a dip there post reveal. Um, yeah, I don't know about the sort of naming. I think there's a lot of like Lolita's used a lot in anime and sort of cosplay culture in Japan.
Yeah,
I
it's not
think.
exactly the same. Not exactly the same thing as it might be in the Western world. It's more
Yeah,
of this style, perhaps we might say, than what it could possibly entail otherwise.
yeah. So I kind of think you wouldn't see a lot of like professional athletes getting involved with an NFT project in the U.S. or Canada or Europe, and then having a name like that. I think that would probably get like vetted and
Yeah, yeah.
nixed. But anyways, so next one is number 8, Bride Girls Collection. So again, one that wasn't really on our radar. It's a small collection, 300 items. Um, Nine Eyes Generative Collection, Volume 1, Bride Girls Collection. Meet your own fabulous brides. Here's the art. It looks a little similar, but it is generative. I think I don't have much to say about this one, but I think for me the the comment is like we're now seeing multiple collections coming out weekly in Japan,
Right.
and of different sizes, some of them pretty big. So I think that's we saw that trend coming, we saw it being announced, and now we're seeing it put into action. So it's the pipeline's just going to keep filling up.
Right,
I think
right.
we're going to see.
It was coming. Now it's here. Definitely.
Now it's here, and we're going to see more and more. And out of those, we're going to see some breakout ones that are pretty awesome and are probably going to get wide wide adoption and wide popularity in Japan and next stop the world. So I think we're going to see some pretty cool stuff coming. So that's it for the alpha this week.
All right.
Yeah. So moving on.
Yeah. So
No,
move on now.
not alpha finish. No, more goblin,
Not again.
more.
What is this?
Mint now.
This is not
Very
part of the
long
show.
goblin. What a long. Very long. Long
This is
goblin.
not part of the show.
Mint
It's this.
now.
How is this happening again? Hey, guy in the background, fix this for us. What is this?
Dude, how does that keep? Why does that keep happening?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
How do? I don't even know how that thing is getting in here.
Okay, so yeah, hopefully that's the last of that for this. Anyhow, moving on to the so I want to talk about. So last week, after last week's show, we had the um. Actually, let's just do it in that order. Let me go to the. We had the meetup last week, and it was awesome. Our first NFTers Tokyo meetup, and we had like I think almost 40 people, and really good crowd of like. There was actually I've been to some other NFT events in Tokyo, and they were like 80% people that were there to sort of find out what is an NFT, and they didn't own any and they didn't know how to get one, but they're just like, oh, I want to kind of hear about it, which is fine, But if the whole crowd is people who don't know about it, then it's kind of like, well, who's going to tell them? So the great thing about this meetup was it wasn't like that. It was like it was 95% people already doing stuff. We had creators, we had people doing projects, we had dev people, we had people, some pretty people who've been in crypto or NFTs for years, some serious OG folks. So it was pretty cool, and a few people that were like new to it. So I think it was just a really fun, great event, and the people that were new to it were like, that was super great for them to have that kind of like step right into a bunch of people that really knew what they were doing. And so I got talking to like, well, so many people, but one of the, I was talking to, Avasa, who helped me set up the event. One of his friends that was there, Marty, she mentioned that she was going to the crypto bar the next day and invited me to join her. And so and I'd heard about this like a month ago, and I thought, oh, that's probably like been around for a while. And I was hoping to check it out. But I went on last Friday with Marty, and it's in Ginza. Turns out it was like literally just been open for a month. So when I heard about it on Twitter, it had opened like a day or two before that. So it's called CryptoBar P2P, and P2P is about the payment, right? So there's this bar uh, doesn't accept cash, doesn't accept credit cards. It only accepts crypto. So you either buy the NFT in advance, which is your pass into the bar for members. And if you sort of get stuff that's not included with your entrance fee, then you got to pay with crypto. That's it. So that's I don't know how many bars there are in the world that only take crypto, but we got one in Tokyo.
That's very
And
cool.
this is also pretty. This is also pretty cool. The monthly pass, and yearly pass is. I guess they make a new version every month, and so this is so May was their first month, June is their second month, and their June monthly pass is, as you can see here, created by Kawaii Skulls. So
That's a cool
and
collab there.
yeah, it's a cool collab, and I think this is just indicative of like in one short month, that place has clearly become sort of ground central for Web3 and NFT scene in Tokyo. Because it's amazing, the people I met there. I met somebody from SBI NFT, the new marketplace. Several people starting collections. Now Kondo from Ahiro Duck, who we're hoping to get an interview with soon. She's launching an NFT collection on the Optimism chain. She actually lives in California, but was just over in Japan. And
That,
I met,
sorry to interrupt. That's Usagi Duck. Is that project? Is that what it's
yeah,
called?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. We'll definitely. She's already said that she'd like to talk to us, so we're just trying to set up that interview. So that will be one of our featured interviews soon. I met Hayachi from Love Addicted Girls, and we're setting up an interview with them as well. And of course, BB. Let's see, yeah, so this is BB's. He's the owner, um, and we got a little. Let's see, we got this. Here's a little doxed camera work of the two of us. He said it was okay to share this, so that's us in the bar. You can see there's an NFT photograph, like, well, picture. It's actually this weird that NFT on the photo in the back. It's not a photo. It's been printed in this kind of embossed style. He calls it 2.5D. Anyhow, it was such a blast, and uh, I didn't realize it. Like, Akim was there too, and I did, from Very Long Animals, and he had just moved out from Kyoto on Friday, and we've talked, many times, but we had never met in person, so I didn't even know he was there. I talked to almost everybody in the place, and then when we all got kicked out at the end of the night out on the street there, someone said, "Oh, have you met this guy? He's the founder of Very Long." And I'm like, "What?" I came, and he's like, "Neil, it's Neil." And so yeah, so we got talking after that, and so that was just very cool place. And interested to know. I'd love to know. Like, let us know in the comments or somewhere if you know of any bar in the world that only takes crypto. Is this is this the only one, or are there more?
Yeah, it'd be
Okay,
good to know if there are. I don't know. I guess it'd be in the U.S. probably, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, it could be anywhere, but I mean, literally, doesn't take anything except crypto. So that's pretty cool. And I guess, yeah, just the last thing, I'm just going back to the meetup. Um, Yeah, so last week was our meetup number one, and it was great. And we're going to try to squeeze one in next week on Thursday the 16th, same place, Stars Tokyo in Ibisu. We'll have all that information tweeted, and the event up on meetup.com up later today. But here's the preview. Meetup number two, we're going to try to do just before actually, a lot of people I met there that day, and also the next day at the Crypto Bar. We're going to NFT NYC, including Akeem from Very Long. So we would love to meet up with people. Steve's already, he's on a plane there now, and I'll be heading there next week. So come to our meetup if you're in Tokyo. And if you're going to be in NFT NYC, let us know. Let's see if we can hook up somewhere.
That sounds great. Yeah, and of course, I'm mad jealous that my two co-founders will be at NFT NYC, but someone's got to hold it down here in Tokyo. Um,
Someone's got to keep guard the secret bunker.
yeah, totally. Great. I guess so. That's our update for community news and stuff that's going on with the project, I suppose. And so I guess at this point we're just going to do our plugs, give our shout outs, and we'll put a fork in it for today. Um, Always big shout outs, of course, to our collaborators and friends at NFT JPN and Hopeson, of course. Definitely a pillar of the local community. Helping out, getting allowing people to communicate, helping get the points across in English and Japanese and Spanish too. Trilingual superpower. Of course, here at the show, subscribe, leave a like, follow us on Twitter, and of course, Discord. Jump in there anytime, get into the discussion. We're also on Instagram if that's how you roll. And I guess that's about everything. Everything we've discussed today, of course, will be added to the show notes directly after the broadcast here. So check that out. Follow up on anything that you'd like to know more about, including our guests from this week's Spaces, and of course the Alpha as well. So yeah, thanks for listening. You hit those Web 2 portals, pushing us through into Web 3. And unless you got anything else, Neil, we'll wrap.
That's it. Please subscribe, like, follow, all those great things.
Word
And
up.
see you next week. See you at the meetup. See you in New York.
Excellent. All right, nerd in the background. Let's wrap.
Man, where'd those goblins come from?
Yeah, that was really disturbing. How do you know? I mean, it was disturbing on a lot of levels. We had to keep going and talk over the outro, right? To always